How's it going, everybody? It is Visual. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day, and welcome back to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle versus Nene over here in the NU tier. So, I'm just gonna lead off with my Passimian. It is gonna be Choice Banded as Nene leads off with the Steelix. Just gonna fire off a nice close combat as Nene switches out into the Vileplume. Vileplume should be able to take that pretty nicely as it resists any kind of fighting move, and also it doesn't even take over 50% from a banded CC. And also Vileplume has that annoying ability effect support, but luckily that did not activate right there. So, I'm gonna go to my Torterra, as Torterra is especially defensive. Can usually take anything Vileplume wants to go for, dodge a Sleep Powder if Vileplume wants to carry that. Unfortunately though, poisons me with that Sludge Bomb right there, but I am gonna take this opportunity to wanna get my Stealth Rocks up. As, yeah, Torterra is gonna be carrying Stealth Rocks with Wood Hammer, Synthesis, and Earthquake. In comes Sigilyph, and I'm pretty sure Sigilyph does learn Defog, but I'm not too sure if the Sigilyph would be running Defog. Honestly, every time I see a Sigilyph, I'm always curious what kind of set it's going to be, because it has a variety, like a lot of move sets that it could run in different like Magic cards, Tinted Lens. I've seen the Flame Orb sets. But I just go into Slowbro, get the eject button activated as I get some nice momentum, and I bring in Absol over there. That's why I really like Slowbro with eject button. It can really stop an opponent's momentum and potentially just like turn around a game really quickly. As now I just want to go for a Swords Dance against the Sigilyph because I'm pretty sure Sigilyph does not want to stay in on an Absol. And that Air Slash did a lot. I'm guessing it's going to be like Life Orb, but I could be wrong about that. It could be like a Focus Sash Sigilyph as well. It's definitely going to be Match Guard, I'm guessing. As I get a nice knockoff on the Bubble Bowser, and then I get to knock it out with the next knockoff at +2. And this Absol I'm using is going to be Focus Sash with Swords Dance, Superpower, knockoff, and a Sucker Punch, which is very, very nice. As in comes Incineroar, El Tigre. And I'm just going to go for that Superpower at +1 attack. It should easily knock out Incineroar, even after Intimidate, since I was at +2 attack. And yeah, Absol going in. Now in comes Steelix, as I actually want to keep my Absol in the back just in case Sigilyph I need to Sucker Punch it. So I'm going to go into Passimian, since Passimian should be able to take anything Steelix wants to go for and fire off a nice close combat. And he just fires off a Gyro Ball. Take that pretty well, even though another Gyro Ball could actually maybe knock me out. But I'm willing to weaken a Steelix because Steelix is kind of a problem, as it just takes hits from everything on my team. I need like a Fire Blast, Delphox, or just a close combat from Passimian to do something. As luckily Steelix does just go for the Stealth Rocks, as now I just go for the close combat to knock it out right there. So in comes Sigilyph. Sigilyph could easily outspeed me and knock me out, so I'm just going to go into my specially defensive Silvally-Steel with Defog, Iron Head, U-Turn, and a Flamethrower. And Sigilyph just goes for the Air Slash. Now Sigilyph does have Heat Wave, usually they carry that. Sigilyph has a pretty nice move pool too. And luckily I do love that since I am specially defensive, and I get that nice U-Turn chip, potentially breaking a Focus Sash and also getting momentum. As now I can bring in my Absol and go for a Sucker Punch, as unfortunately Sigilyph goes for a Roost right there. So I'm like, oh, okay then. I'm still going to spam Sucker Punch though, because I feel like that would be my best play. I don't want to just go for a knockoff and then let Sigilyph outspeed me, because then that would be really, really bad. I'd rather let the Sigilyph just, you know, switch out and then into something else, as finally that happens. Sock comes in, and I do not want to stay in on the Sock, as Sock could easily just knock me out. And yeah, I'd just rather sack Torterra, to be honest. I don't really need Torterra versus the rest of Nene's team. And actually, fortunately, switches out the Sock into Sigilyph as I go for a nice Wood Hammer, and then with the Recoil and Poison, I get to knock myself out, which I will take. And also, I was in Overgrow range, so that's why that Wood Hammer did so much damage. So now I get to bring in my Delphox. Delphox is Choice Scarfed with Fire Blast, Grass Knot, Dazzling Gleam, and Trick, and I just go for that Scarf Fire Blast, knock out Sigilyph, which is very, very nice, because I was really scared if that was going to be Focus Sash. So now in comes Sock, Mr. Miyagi, and I'm just going to fire off a Fire Blast. I'm pretty sure Sock will live it though, as it does live it, and it fires off a Stone Edge and knocks me out. Now usually Sock are sometimes sturdy. I would say Nene's is probably going to be sturdy, and plus if it was Mold Breaker, I would say Mold Breaker, so you would really know what the Sock's ability is. As now I bring my Slowbro, which can easily just fire off a Psychic as Vileplume comes out, and I was pretty confident Psychic should knock it out, but it lives on literally like 1 HP. I was like, whoa, okay then. I'm going to switch out Slowbro because I'm scared Vileplume is going to be faster. Even though I am running a lot of speed on Slowbro, I feel like Vileplume might be faster. as I just go into Silvally-Steel and pretty much has a sack, but just goes for the sleep powder, so that's interesting. I'm really scared of the Vileplume synthesizing all the way up too, so that's why I'm going to hard switch my Silvally out, as I don't want that to pretty much take advantage of the sleep and go right into my Passimian, which is banded. As Vileplume actually fires off a Giga Drain, so that surprised me right there. I thought they would go for the synthesis. So yeah, pretty nice that I can knock out the Vileplume with a banded knockoff. Since the first close combat did so much, I'm pretty sure knockoff from that range should knock out Vileplume, and luckily it does. And potentially no effects for activating, so that's nice as well. So in comes a Sock, outspeeds me, and goes for the close combat, and down I go. And I'm not too sure what kind of Sock that is. Could be banded, honestly. I don't really know if it's Scarf. Even if it is Scarf, though, I have Sucker Punch priority move, Absol, and I get to just outspeed it. I mean, Sock doesn't really have any priority moves that I'm aware of, and they don't really run it either way. They run usually like close combat, I think knockoff, Earthquake, and I guess Stone Edge. So yeah, GG to Nene. Absol put in that work, SDing up on the switch to Blastoise, knocking it off, and then getting rid of it, and then knocking out Incineroar with that Superpower. And I could have superpowered the Steelix, but I was at neutral attack at that point, and it would literally do nothing to Steelix, since Steelix has amazing defense. So next battle we have versus Joey, and he has some PUmons. We got Primeape, Weezing, and Komala. 3 PUmons, but I got some PUmons as well. Well, only one, Absol, and that's it. And then actually 2 banned mons from PU recently, Torterra and Pyroar. Well, not too recent, but, you know, I guess this year, I would say. And then a Celigor. When I see a Celigor, I'm like, okay, that might be the lead of choice, but who knows. So I'm going to lead off Passimian, as I felt like Passimian would probably just U-turn on everything, and plus they might be scared of it being Choice Scarf or something like that, but leads off of Weezing, so that's going to be a little annoying. Might get T-Spikes up, even though I do have Defog, which is Silvally-Steel, and it's not going to be affected by T-Spikes, but I'm just going to go into Slowbro, as I expect a Will-O-Wisp from the Weezing to come out against a Passimian, as unfortunately he misses that Wisp right there. That would have been a nice 6% chip every single turn against Slowbro. As now I get to fire off a free Psychic, in comes Komala, and that does nothing, so I'm guessing maybe this is a Soul Vest. I mean, Komala does have pretty decent special defense. And then it fires off the Wood Hammer. I just stayed in because I was like, what is Komala going to do to me? Knockoff? I don't really care. Slowbro lives literally everything. It's so defensive and bulky, and unfortunately I get that eject button right there, which kind of sucked because I would have been nice to, you know, get some nice Psychic chip. But at least I get to bring in Passimian and go for a knockoff freely, and in comes Weezing, get rid of its Black Sludge. No little chip recovery every single turn, and now I get to go into my Delphox, and the Delphox should be able to take anything Weezing wants to go for and be immune to a Will-O-Wisp, but Weezing does have Pain Split right there, so it gets a little bit of chip HP. It's not really that big of a deal since it didn't really gain much either way, and should easily just get blown back by a Psychic or a Fire Blast. Even though I don't have Psychic, but they might think I do have Psychic. Kind of would have liked Psychic, though, versus Joey's team, since Psychic was literally so free versus the entirety of the team, but it's okay. So, in comes Pyroar, just goes for the Hyper Voice as I go to Slowbro as a mid-ground play. I do live that, fortunately, which is very, very nice. I really need Slowbro this game because it's a nice mid-ground a lot of times. And now I bring in my Torterra, which really surprised me that Torterra got two-shotted. I was like, dang, my Spadef Torterra, I thought I could live it. But nope, Choice Specs Pyroar is so damn strong. So I was like, okay, I should have just went to Silvally-Steel. But actually switches out to Weezing, so maybe didn't want to risk the roll. It might have been a roll against the Torterra, and then didn't want to catch an Earthquake. So Weezing makes sense as it does have Levitate and it's immune to ground moves. So I went Silvally-Steel because I thought I would get knocked out by the Hyper Voice from the Pyroar. And then actually when Weezing came out, I was like, okay, nice free U-turn. But then they just switched into Pyroar. So I was like, okay, now I get to bring in my Focus Sash Absol. They will not see that coming. Hopefully they think that they will just one-shot me, but no, I got that Focus Sash and I go for the Superpower. That's why Absol really appreciates the good defogging with Silvally-Steel. One of the best defoggers in NU in my opinion. Next to maybe Defog Whimsicots as well. So yeah, in comes Primeape right here. Probably just going to go for the U-turn. I don't know if it's Scarf or Banded. Banded would be a little scary as it does more damage, but Scarf isn't really too big of a problem either since Delphox should be able to outspeed it. Since Delphox is really good Scarfer because its speed tier is just insanely fast. So yeah, luckily Slowbro lives that U-turn right there. I get to keep it longer in the game with Regenerator. In comes a Celigor. I just go into my Silvally as Silvally can just defog anything a Celigor wants to go for and take anything a Celigor wants to go for, barring like a Specs Focus Blast. that could be a little problematic. But luckily, the Selgor just goes for it. The Bug Buzz does absolutely nothing, and then at final Gambits, it knocks itself out and does massive damage. But I'll take that since Silvally pretty much was really only there to just defog and just stop a Selgor from doing anything. So I just sack into the Primeape as he just goes for the U-turn, and in comes YGG Dazzle. I don't know what that means, but hey, it's shiny, so that's cool. As now I bring in my Absol, just want to go for a nice clean knockoff, get rid of his item, whatever it could be. What if it was like Z-move with Rock Polish? That could be cool with Swords Dance. That's why I ran before, I know you. But nah, it just goes for the Earthquake as well. It's just Leftovers, so it's probably just a regular Torterra, like what I'm running. And knockoff does massive damage. But now I bring up Passimian, a banded U-turn, should easily knock out Torterra from that range. And I get some nice momentum as I could easily switch into anything I want over here. I want to go into my Slowbro, get some more Regenerator. Seems that might be like the best play, honestly, as I want to keep Slowbro getting more HP, as I can take on Primeape like better and better the more HP I have. And I just go to Torterra, and Torterra don't really need it too much anymore, as seems to be like, you know, the sack versus Weezing and Primeape, since it doesn't really do too much to Weezing anymore. Like Wood Hammer, Earthquake, what am I gonna do to it? And Primeape can just U-turn on it, or maybe even Ice Punch if it does have it. So I just get my rocks up right there as a nice little chip if they just want to keep switching or something like that. Weezing knocks me out the Sludge Bomb, and now I go into my Slowbro freely to just Psychic away again, just like the last game. But I had to switch because his Vileplume was scary from Giga Draining me. But yeah, Weezing outspeeds me with that Sludge Bomb, does some nice chip, but I knock it out with the Psychic right there. In comes the Primeape, and yeah, Primeape shouldn't be able to beat the rest of my team, as I have way too many. Well, I have 3 Pokemon, but yeah, I can't really lock himself into anything that can beat my entire team, as it just locks himself in the Earthquake. That does not knock out my Slowbro, and I just one-shot it with the Psychic, and down goes Primeape right there. So yeah, GG to Joey, and that is not Joey Fontaine, by the way. So next up we have versus Kaylib over here, and he has a Selgor too. So that's probably going to be some Spikes Hazards versus a very hyper offensive team he has. As I'm thinking it's going to be like Z Happy Hour Malamar, like SD Kringler, maybe a Stealth Rock SD Rhydon, probably Specs or Life Orb, Guzzlord. Guzzlord should learn Trick Room, by the way, it should, honestly. And then Sceptile, I'm guessing it's going to be like Specs or Life Orb, but usually I would see Specs Sceptile. So yeah, I'm just going to lead off with my Silvally, as I expect the Selgor to want to lead off with, or Rhydon, and I could just U-turn on Rhydon, and yeah, I should be able to be outspeeding Rhydon with my Silvally and just going to Slowbro and Scald it. But yeah, Selgor is the lead, gets the spikes up as I just go for the Flamethrower, break its Focus Sash. Usually a Selgor are going to be Focus Sash leads. And then he just gets a T-Spike up, so he got both his hazards up, but I don't really care because my plan is to just knock out a Selgor and then just defog, honestly. Like, whatever he brings in, I'm just going to try and defog on it because I do not want T-Spikes up or Spikes up at all. Because I want my Focus Sash on my Absol, like 100%. It's just priority for me because it's just so dang good to keep it. So he goes into Sceptile. Pretty obvious he has Focus Blast. I live it, luckily, and it turns out to be Life Orb, so that's pretty cool. I thought it would be Choice Specs, and I feel like I would live a Choice Specs too, because Silvally-Steel is just so dang bulky, especially defensive. So now I bring in my Delphox, as I should be able to take Sceptile. Like, literally, it can't really do much unless it's Earthquake Life Orb, which can actually be scary, but I guess they didn't want to go for that, I don't know. And plus, I'm usually guessing it's not going to be mixed Sceptile, even though it would do nice damage with Life Orb Earthquake, honestly. So yeah, over here I made a nice prediction as Guzzlord comes in. I wanted to go for the Scarf Dazzling Gleam, as looking at Caleb's team, I was like, okay, yeah, you probably would want to switch a Guzzlord in on the Delphox, as, you know, what else were you going to switch in on a Psychic, because you don't have much. So that's why I went for the Dazzling Gleam, and luckily he just sacks his Guzzlord out. It was just like at, you know, barely any HP. It was at red HP. So in comes Kingler, Swords Danced up as I go into Torterra, and then actually I pull a switch into Slowbro, and then he pulled a switch into Malamar. And I was like, oh, okay then. I wanted to go into Slowbro as I expected a Liquidation from the Kingler, but that did not happen because I have Eject button, and then I can easily just gain momentum and go into something against the Kingler and just probably knock it out. So yeah, Malamar was a switch. I guess he was scared of me being faster, I don't know, and Woodhammer knocking him out. So he knocks my Eject button off. Sadly, that does not activate it, but luckily I do burn the Malamar with the Scald, and I should be able to live anything Malamar wants to go for, so that's why I went for the Slack off right there. Get some more HP, just to keep Slowbro longer in the game. So now I bring in my Passimian, as Passimian should be able to take anything from a burnt Malamar, and I was really surprised that wasn't Z Happy Hour. It might have been, but I don't know. They just didn't go for it. And now I just go for the Banded U-turn 4 times a week against Malmar, and yeah, just knock it out in one, since Psychic and Dark does not appreciate Bug Moose. So now I bring in my Folk Sash Absol as he brings in Rhydon, and I'm like, oh well, I don't want to stay in on this, because Rhydon could actually have Rock Blast, and maybe if he gets 5 hits he can knock me out, I don't know. So I'd just rather go in Slowbro, and plus I'd rather just keep my Absol in the back for later, honestly. And plus Slowbro is just such a good switch in to the Rhydon, unless it's like Mega Horn Banded, but it's not going to be that. And he just goes for the Swords Dance, and luckily I do outspeed it since my Slowbro is running a lot of speed actually, so just one-shot that 4 times a week to water Pokemon. So in comes Kingler. I just fire off a Psychic, as I'm pretty sure Kingler just wants to try and set up or just go for a knockoff, which I should be able to live since I don't have any item anymore. Eject button was knocked off by the Malmar. And luckily, Kingler just misses Rock Slide right there. I was really surprised it was Rock Slide too. You can't flinch with Sheer Force, and that's usually what Kinglers are, Life Orb Sheer Force. So I was really surprised by that. I thought he would just be like, you know, SD, Agility, Liquidation, and maybe Knockoff or Superpower, one of those two. But, oh well. So Sceptile comes out, it doesn't even knock me out the Life Orb Giga Drain, and I get a nice Psychic chip off on it, and then it goes for a Hidden Power right there, which just you know, knocks me out right there. Doesn't really matter what he goes for since I was like 6 HP. So now I go into my choice Scarf Delphox and just Fire Blast it. Wanted to go for Fire Blast just because, I don't know, I wasn't scared of missing, and I was pretty sure I had the game in the bag. Even if I missed, maybe I would have switched down, went for Dazzling Gleam or something like that. So yeah, GG to Kaylib. And yeah, Delphox put in a lot of work versus Kaylib's team pretty nicely, and Slowbro. Love those two psychic types. So last game we have is versus Hikari, and Hikari has a very scary team as we got Passimian, Incineroar, Whimsicott, Slowbro, Steelix, and the Dodrio. So I always love a nice bird, and that's Dodrio right there. And I'm thinking Dodrio is going to be a Z mover for sure, and Whimsicott's probably going to be a Defogger, and Steelix probably the Rocker. Slowbro could be really like maybe a Colbert Berry, Calm Mind, a Soul Vest. Incineroar could be Pinch Berry or Soul Vest, and Passimian could be Scarf or Bandit. That's what I'm thinking. So we'll have to wait and see. As I let off with my Passimian, as Passimian looked like a really nice lead versus Hikari, as I have a switch into whatever Passimian is weak to. So Hikari leads off with her Passimian, Bella. I mean, I should probably just say Bella. But yeah, Bella just goes for the knockoff, as I just go for the U-turn, gets rid of my choice band, which kind of does suck, but at the same time, not really, because now I can switch up moves versus her team, and that might actually help me out a lot. So bringing my Torterra, as I did want to get up Stealth Rocks versus Hikari's team, ASAP Rocky, because you got Incineroar, and I want to weaken that. Like, that thing just gets chipped away so much when Stealth Rocks are up, and Dodrio. But she does have potential defogging ability with Whimsicott, so that could be annoying. So yeah, Incineroar intimidates me as it comes in on Torterra. I could have stayed in, maybe went for an Earthquake, but I don't want to take a Fire Blast or a Flare Blitz. So yeah, I just wanted to go into Slowbro and potentially get some momentum on that U-turn right there, and then bring in my Passimian, which is not banded. But hey, it's still something that can threaten out Incineroar. So now I get to freely go for a knockoff. I was really thinking about going for a close combat, but Slowbro and Whimsicott could come in, and I'd rather just knock off, as Steelix does come in and easily takes a close combat, because, you know, Steelix defense is insanely high, and unfortunately I don't knock it out, and it gets its Stealth Rocks up. So I'm like, dang it, man, I want to keep my Folk Sash from Absol, so I need a Defog with my Silvally-Steel, because Absol's Folk Sash just comes in handy so much versus so many games. So that's why my next plan is to try and defog away the Stealth Rocks. Even though I got mine up, I got rid of Bella's Stealth Rocker, so they can't get it back up, and I can get my Stealth Rocks back up as I still have my Torterra in the back. So yeah, luckily Bella just sacked the Steelix to my close combat, and now in comes Whimsicott as a nice double from Bella right there, going into Slowbro, expecting me to probably want to switch out, but honestly, Silvally-Steel, I don't really care about Slowbro unless it's going to be like Fire Blast. That could be a little bit annoying. But I'm still going to get that defog off as Slowbro just tries to fish maybe for a burn with Scald. Luckily no burn there, because that would help out Whimsicott a lot, just whittling down Silvally, because once Silvally is gone, Whimsicott will be kind of annoying. Even though Torterra is especially defensive as well, maybe can take on the Whimsicott. And not really though, since usually Whimsicott don't have any reliable recovery unless they're leftovers, but I can't really do much back. So Slowbro actually turns out to be Calm Mind, so that's interesting. I guess Bella probably got scared right there, as I might just go for the Wood Hammer, but I want to get my Stealth Rocks back up. Like, literally, I was not expecting Slowbro to knock me out, because I was especially defensive. Like, I live Ice Beams for days if Slowbro was packing it, but at +1, I don't know if I could live it, though. So, yeah, luckily, usually Slowbros don't carry Ice Beam. That's what I was expecting it to not be. So, just gonna go my Slowbro as Incineroar comes out, and in comes the Whimsicott from the U-turn. And I was really expecting Defog, but I do not want to risk Whimsicott being like Energy Ball Specs or something like that. So I was like, yeah, I'd rather just go to Silvally and make the safe play. I don't want to lose my Slowbro, just an off chance the Whimsicott is going to be some crazy offensive set. So, makes the Defog play, which is nice. I expect me to probably want to switch out, and plus can probably take anything Slowbro wants to go for. So now I just go for the U-turn, expect the Whimsicott to not want to stay in. If I expected it to stay in, I'll just go for the Iron Head, but Passimian comes out, so that's to be expected. As now I bring back my Torterra, and now Passimian unfortunately gets a critical hit on me, which kind of sucks, as Torterra's HP is so dang low, it probably gets knocked out by anything. But at the same time, I was kind of expecting Torterra to be a sack, but it would have been nice as it would allow Dojo to get more recoil chip and help me out maybe later on in the game, potentially. But over here, I'm just going to go into my Slowbro, as I expect the Dojo to probably just want to go for Brave Bird. Could have went for the Swords Dance, potentially, but you never really know. Torterra might have Stone Edge or something, maybe Toxic, and you don't want your Dojo to take that Stone Edge or that Toxic. So, yeah, now fires off the Fly DMZ right there. I wasn't too sure if Dojo would be Fight DMZ or Fly DMZ, so that's why I was just like, alright, Slowbro, if you go down, you go down. Even though losing Slowbro is kind of huge, since it's my main way of stopping Incineroar from going in. I still have my Choice Scarf Delphox, which I do bring in right over here, and it literally outspeeds Bella's entire team. So over here, I pull a switch into Passimian, expecting Incineroar to want to come out, as I know for a fact Bella does not want to lose Dojo. That's like one of the best win converts in my team. I don't really have too good switch into Dojo, so that's why. Because Dojo could have Jump Kick for a Silvally-Steel and just like everything, honestly, just Brave Bird, Jump Kick, and stuff. And maybe even SD Quick Attack. So over here, I just go for the Gunk Shot, kind of expecting the Whimsicott to maybe want to come in and try and get a Defog off for the Incineroar, because maybe Bella would want to really try and get the Defog off, because Incineroar is getting whittled down by Stealth Rocks and potentially Dojo. But unfortunately, Slowbro came in, so I just go for the U-turn and bring in my Torterra, which Torterra, over here at this point, I don't need to really do anything else but just go for Wood Hammer, because at this point of the game, I already got my rocks up. I mean, what else am I going to do? Might as well get some chip damage up on something. I mean, Whimsicott could come in, but at the same time, I will probably just sense this up and get rocks back up. Something like that, because more HP on Torterra, the better. So, down goes the Slowbro. I guess I expected me to maybe be slower, or expect me to not go for Wood Hammer, but hey, that's very nice for me, as Slowbro goes down. But now in comes Dojo, and it knocks me out that Brave Bird. So that would have been nice to have more HP to take more recoil damage for the Dojo, as, I got critted from that U-turn Passimian, but that's okay. Because maybe this thing would have been ranged from, like, I don't know, a Dazzling Gleam from Delphox or something like that. So, Dojo switches out, as probably expecting Bella expects me to be Choice Scarf Delphox. As in comes Incineroar, I expect Incineroar to want to come out, as I just go for the Dazzling Gleam, and that does absolutely nothing. That is a Soul Vested up the booty. I know that for a fact. I was kind of scared of Pinch Berry, though, but luckily it was a Soul Vest, because sometimes Pinch Berry could be a little bit more annoying just when it switches in on Stealth Rocks and gets all of that HP back, and you're like, well, gotta whittle it down more and more. So I go into Silvally-Steel pretty much as a sack, but I realized I was running a lot of speed on my Silvally-Steel, enough speed to outspeed Incineroar max speed. So I was like, well, oh crap. I go into Delphox expecting it to not want to go for an Earthquake and one-shot me, and when this happened, I was like, no, not the one Earthquake Incineroar, even though I've seen that sometimes, but I was just like gasping for air, because I was like, no. My Delphox, my win con, this is going to be a lot harder than I expected it to be, because I expected just Flare Blitz on the Silvally-Steel, honestly, or even a U-turn. And at the same time, I should have looked at my Silvally-Steel speed. I forgot I was running a lot of speed on it. I'm usually just running max special defense. So, yeah. Now I just go into Passimian, and then I go into Silvally-Steel on the Whimsicott, as Whimsicott just goes for the Defog, and I just knock it out with the Iron Head. Right there. And pretty much losing Delphox is really, really scary, and losing the Stealth Rocks as well, because now Dojo is not going to get chipped, Incineroar is not going to get chipped as much, even though Incineroar is pretty low to the point where I should be able to knock it out with like really anything. But yeah, I have to sack my Silvally-Steel here to the Passimian, and now I bring in my Passimian, and this is a 50-50 over here. she either stays in Passimian going for a close combat or switches into Incineroar as a sack. I predict Incineroar, that's why I went for the U-turn, as if I went for close combat, I lower my defenses to the point where Dojo can knock me out and Passimian's close combat might be able to knock me out. And that would be really, really bad for me, as I want to bring in my Absol, as Absol gives me the better chance at potentially winning, because maybe Dojo does not have quick attack, because I need to Sucker Punch that Dojo and knock it out, hopefully. Because sometimes Dojo might not have quick attack. Usually they might have like maybe Return, maybe Brave Bird, Jump Kick, Sword Dance, but who knows. So yeah, goes for the close combat, lowers its defense by 1. Now I go for the Superpower and hoping that Passimian will get knocked out, but it doesn't. Lives on like 1. So now I gotta reveal that I do have Sucker Punch, because maybe I might not have Sucker Punch, and then you might not go for quick attack. Who knows? But yeah, I gotta reveal Sucker Punch right there, and then in comes Dojo, and this is the moment of truth where it has quick attack, and then it knocks me out. So down goes my Absol, and that's gonna be game, because Passimian will not be able to live a Dojo's Brave Bird at all. And would have been cool though, because it actually lives on just a sliver, to the point where just a little bit of chip would have been a double down. Even though I would still lose, it would just be a little bit cooler that Dojo would go down with my Passimian at the end game. So that crit from the Torterra really mattered. Yeah, not really though, because I still would have probably lost, since my Delphox, I just made a risky play with the Delphox. Like, I should have just stayed in with Silvally-Steel and not went for U-turn. I should have just went for an Iron Head. And then Delphox literally came in and just like clicked moves, because it outsped everything, honestly. Since Incineroar had no way of recovering at all, and for it to not get chipped away by Stealth Rocks, Whimsicott would probably have to have been sacked to get the Defog off, honestly. And maybe I could have just went to Absol and just prevent the Defog from happening, since Prankster does not work on the Absol. But it could have been Infiltrator, who knows? And also I'd rather keep Absol with a Focus Sash, because it's way better than just sacking it to Defog fodder. And plus I don't even know if I can knock out Whimsicott with Absol. But yeah, that's going to be it for the game. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, do your thing. And yeah, GG to Bella. Really close game right there, as the last game. It came down to the wire. And yeah, GG to everybody else. So question of the day is, what is your favorite Mon to run Focus Sash on? Is it a lead, or is it a Pokemon in the back? Well, today we showcased Absol Focus Sash, and let's see what you guys think down in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, peace.